Well, a very good evening to you. I do believe your day is going on just fine on this 7th day of August 2023, day when we are remembering or rather marking 25 years since the bomb blast here in the capital, Nairobi. Now, today we have been following up a number of stories for you, including the Finance Act hearing by the three-judge bench led by David Majanja. Now, remember you can watch this bulletin live across all our social media platforms at Lookuptv on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as well as YouTube. Let's kickstart our bulletin. And the High Court has declined to suspend sections of the Finance Act as the hearing of the petition officially kicked off with a three-judge bench. Now, the judges consolidated all petitions, giving petitioners until August 10th to amend their petitions. Replies must be filed 7 days later on August 17th, and supplementary affidavits by August 24th, with all documents limited to 10 pages. Now, the court's decision comes after a hearing on July 29th, where petitioners argued that the Finance Act violates the Constitution. The government argued that the law is valid and that it is necessary to raise revenue. Now, the next hearing of the case is scheduled for September 13th. To the bomb blast memorial and the Azimio core principals Martha Karua and Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka, among other Azimio leaders, have joined thousands of Kenyans in remembering those who died in the August 1998 bomb blast. Now, leaders who attended the service are pushing for a message of compensation for those who lost their loved ones, as well as the survivors of that particular bomb blast. Moving forward, President William RUTO has today commissioned the Ishamara-Ratune Road in Mukurweini sub-county, Nyeri County, as a way of improving infrastructure to enhance connectivity and boost trade within the area. Now, the president said his government will create jobs for the youth, develop the health sector and the industry sectors to continue fulfilling the promises of the Kenya Kwanza manifesto to the people. Now, the president also added that he is ready to negotiate with the Azimio party, but reiterating he is not going to share or have a handshake with the opposition chief Raila Odinga.
Makofi mazuri wananchi kwa Mheshimiwa Rais baada ya kufungua rasmi ujenzi wa barabara hii. Thank you.
Ndio tumewaambia wale jamaa wengine. Nimesikia jana wamekubali. Wale watu ya kitendawili na maandamano. Wamekubali jana ya kwamba mambo ya handshake hata hawa hawataki. Hiyo tumekubaliana. Sasa mimi nataka niwaulize jambo la pili. Kwa sababu mmekubali mambo ya handshake, mmewachana nayo. Mimi jambo la pili nataka niwaambie pia tukubaliane mambo ya vita na fujo na kuharibu mali na kuharibu maisha, biashara ya watu. Pia na hiyo tukubaliane tukomeshe katika taifa letu la Kenya. If we agree on those two, that there is no handshake and there is no violence, then we can proceed as a country, we can discuss the rest of the things. Tunakubaliana jameni? Mambo ile ingine yote tunaweza kuzungumza, lakini mambo mawili hayako katika mjadala. Mambo ya sijui handshake nusu mkate, wananchi wa Kenya wamekataa. Mambo ya vita na fujo na kuharibu mali, pia hiyo wananchi wa Kenya wamesema wamekataa. Ama mmesemaje watu wa Nyeri? Si tumekataa mambo ya fujo? Tumekataa mambo ya fujo. Sisi ni inchi ya amani. Sisi ni inchi ya demokrasia. Sisi ni inchi ya kufuata sheria. Na ndio tumewaambia wale ambao tunashindana wao wapinzani wetu, endeleeni na kazi ya upinzani. Kosoa mahali mnataka, lakini vita muachane nayo na mambo ya kutafuta nusu mkate musahau. Nego kana tigo.
Remember, President William RUTO is on his third day of the Mount Kenya region tour. He is scheduled to end that particular development tour in the next 2 days. Now, police were forced to use tear gas to disperse protesters in Mumias after they took to the streets to protest against what they call impunity, political wish hunt for some investors in the sugar company led by MP Peter Salasia. The residents have called on the revival of the company for the betterment of the lives of those in the sugar industry.
wakati tulikuwa na West Kenya peke yake ikifanya kazi hapa, miwa zilikuwa zinaozea mashambani, miwa ilikuwa ina overmature kwa mashamba. But as we speak, since Rai came in aka take over, enda huku ndani utapata kwamba all cane is young. Sababu Sarai amefanya kazi. So if somebody is delivering, miwa imekatwa, nuclear inafanywa, kila wakati kesi, kila wakati court order, kesi, court order, alafu mnaanza afanyi kazi. Yet ukienda kuuliza wananchi, the people on the ground, they will tell you kwamba miwa inakatwa, na imekuwa ikikatwa na nani? Sarai. Number 2, the price of ton ilipanda from 3,000 to 5,500 because of Sarai. Asingekuja haingepanda. Number 4,
kitu ya mahana katika Mumias ambayo sisi tunakusaliwa hapa ni kampuni yetu kufufuliwa. Ni kama kiongozi yoyote hataki Mumias Sugar Company itembee, tunaona kama tunaweza kumwacha kabisa. Sisi hatuna na kiongozi ambao ni msaliti wa Mumias Sugar Company.
Sasa wakati koti inasimamisha huyu investor kutoendelea na kazi, alafu inasikiza wale watu ambao hawako hawajulikani, na hii muda yote koti ilitushangaza ya kwamba ati sasa huyo ati wanataka kuleta another administrator, ati court ilikuwa ina admit anyone as a creditor in the court. Nataka kujiuliza walikuwa wanatumia criteria gani hiyo wakati kujua hii inadai pesa ngapi, so anyone can just come out.
Is part of the ever ongoing sugar woes in the western region of this country. Moving forward, the country's push for green energy has received a major boost, with the geothermal development company, that is JDCC, unveiling a 22 megawatts geothermal well in Silali, Baringo County. The well at Paka Geothermal Project is the largest in the area and brings to 70 megawatts the total amount of energy tapped from the geothermal-rich region. This came as the company announced plans to tap over 100 megawatts from the area by 2030, enhancing government plans to phase out thermal power by then. According to the energy CS, David Churchill, the move is a major achievement in increasing green energy and phasing out thermal power in the country.
We have so far drilled about 14 wells, and today we are at about 70 megawatts. We've just witnessed the opening of well number 8, or where we've just come from, and that well is discharging at an average of what would otherwise be 22 megawatts. You're talking about $5 million per well. So when you drill one and you get that capacity of 22 megawatts, that is a big saving in terms of the accounting and cost recovery. The capital expenditure that goes into that well for recovery purposes is not going to be significant, and therefore it will continue to bring down the cost of energy. Silali is a very productive site. By what we've seen so far, at 70 megawatts, you'll appreciate that is quite significant. A well like that took about 80 days to drill. So if we continue at the same pace, the same success, we should be at 100 plus megawatts before the end of this year. You do appreciate that predominantly Kenya baseload is geothermal and hydro, but because of climate change issues, we're now relying on geothermal, which dispatches at a levelized availability of 95%. And then so for us as a country, with the climate change issue, we've come out of a very difficult drought condition in the last 4 years. And our hydrology, which normally discharges at about 30% of our energy mix, went down from 30% to 10%. When we have this kind of capacity in geothermal and the kind of capacity in our people, the commitment in government to continue investing in geothermal, we can see Kenya being energy secure. We can see the cost of energy in Kenya coming down significantly. We can see Kenya being a very attractive destination for global firms who want greening of their products, which will be hitting the market with a premium, because this climate change issue is a big challenge. And so as we continue investing and getting this kind of hits, 20 megawatts per well, it really profiles Kenya in the right position as an investment destination. I think we spent here about $26 million to develop the infrastructure alone and the water. And of course support the community where we work from, provide water. We have provided how many water points here? 20 water points along the pipeline as we supply the water to basically for injection and for drilling, for cooling. So the development of fields is risk capital. You can invest in infrastructure, water, and all that goes in, and you drill, and it is a dry, you don't make any discovery. So we want to commend the government for the commitment it has made in developing geothermal, but more importantly, as we go forward, because we understand our financial position currently, we want to bring more private investors to support GDC.
On to matters health, and Kakamega County Governor Fernandes Baraza has called on the medical fraternity to make use of the medicine distributed by KEMSA to help the people of Kakamega County. The governor, who spoke during a drug distribution drive in the county, also added that his government is keen to ensure there are no loopholes that will see the misuse of drugs meant to treat patients in that particular facility.
Those drugs are through an automated system, where we'll have a proper inventory of the drugs through our health management system, and the issuance of those drugs again will be done through the system. Besides that, we have also put in place surveillance because we must seal all the loopholes, and anybody who is going to refer a patient to go and buy drugs in a local clinic, and then we find those drugs are actually drugs that have been supplied in the hospitals, definitely we are going to take very serious disciplinary action. And if he's one of our health officers, definitely we are going to take a stand disciplinary action, including dismissal, because this is an area that I'm very passionate about and very serious in terms of just addressing the integrity and governance issues.
First Lady Rachel RUTO on Monday toured Narok County and engaged in environment-related activities. In a lineup of activities, the First Lady spearheaded a cleaning exercise in Narok town and later handed over dustbins to the county. She then led a tree planting exercise at St. Mary's Secondary School before joining St. Mary's Primary School for their 60 years celebrations.
Kaunti yetu iko na Masai Mara National Game Reserve. Wageni wakifika hapa kutoka ng'ambo
hapa leo kupanda miti, ningependa tu kusema kwamba hii miti ambayo tunapanda siku ya leo tunapanda kwa ajili yenu na kwa ajili ya watoto wenu. Najua shida saa zingine ya sisi wa Afrika ni kwamba unapata mtu wako na ameona mti mkubwa kama hii, hajui kwamba wale ambao walikuwa hapo zamani waliweza kupanda kwa ajili yetu. Kwa hivyo mimi ningependa tu kuwasihi kwamba tuchunge hii garden ambaye tuko naye siku ya leo, ili iweze kutusaidia katika siku za usoni, na pia iweze kutusaidia kwa watoto wetu. Mnajua kwamba rais wetu amezindua mradi, amesema kwamba kufikia miaka 10 ambaye inakuja tutakuwa tumepanda miti bilioni 15. Umesikia hiyo maneno? Amesema kwamba tutapanda bilioni 5 miaka 5 hii, alafu ile miaka ingine ambayo Mungu atamjalia pia aendelee kukua rais, tutapanda bilioni 10. Kwa hivyo tunamsaidia rais, na nchi yetu ya Kenya tunafanya kama sisi ni wa Kenya pia ambaye tunapenda nchi yetu, ili tuweze kupanda miti.
Hii Narok ni yetu na tunakupenda, na umekuja na mambo mazuri sana ya kuhakikisha kwamba tumeishi kwa mazingira safi, na wewe ni mama kweli kabisa. Tunakupongeza na tuko pamoja na wewe, na tutakuwa pamoja na wewe, na tutasupport initiatives zako zote, kwa sababu wewe ni mama na kamili. Hivyo unajilete chini, tunakuombea Mungu.
Story wraps up our bulletin this particular evening, but just some sporting update. And the Super Eagles of Nigeria have been knocked out of the FIFA Women's World Cup on post-match penalties by England, who won 4-2. As well, now that means the only African team remaining in that particular competition is Morocco, who will be playing against France in the last fixture of the round of 16 tomorrow in the ongoing World Cup in Australia. Now, see you at 9 p.m. at night for the Spotlight. But until then, do have yourself a lovely evening. And remember to check out our website, www.lookuptv.co.ke, just to get an overview of the stories making headlines across all the 47 counties. Do have yourself a lovely evening. And like always, God bless.
value your feedback and welcome your complaints about our programming and operations. Feel free to get in touch with us through 0700 893 542 or send us an email to info@lookuptv.co.ke.